And joining us now is Kyle Glaser from Baseball America. And Kyle, let's talk a little bit about the fact that the Orioles now rank 8th in your minor league polling of what you think are the best minor league players in baseball. Now, tell us a little bit about why they jumped up to number 8.
Well, the biggest thing is the addition of Richmond, the number 1 overall pick, catcher out of Oregon State. This is a true franchise caliber talent. Anytime you add a talented player like this to your farm system, he alone is going to bring you up a couple spots. You have that at the top. You also have 2 young pitchers, DL Hall and Grayson Rodriguez, their first-round picks, each the previous 2 years, doing very, very well. Still in the Class A level, so they have a ways to go. But you've essentially added 3 really good players with your first-round pick now. Each the last couple of years, and that's going to send your farm system rising pretty high.
Now, why is Richmond already on your list when he basically has just played a couple of games in minor league baseball?
So really the reports out of him in college at Oregon State were that this might be the best draft prospect we've seen this decade, really since Bryce Harper. You're talking about a true franchise caliber catcher, someone with the potential to hit 30 or more home runs a year while hitting 280 plus. And oh, by the way, potentially playing gold glove caliber defense. Players like this don't come around very often. We at Baseball America rank the draft prospects and put them into the top 100 pretty quickly every year after they're drafted. And this is one of the highest recent draftees we've ever put into a top 100. You're right. There's a long way to go. He hasn't played many professional games yet, but the potential this kid has is among the best in the minor leagues, and that's why he's so high up on the rankings already.
Speaking with Kyle Glaser from Baseball America, who does these rankings and ratings of all the Major League Baseball teams' farm systems. And let's talk a little bit about Ryan Mountcastle at Norfolk. What do you see from him, and where do you rank him?
He's an impressive hitter, has the ability to hit for power, hit for average. He's always been kind of an impact bat potential type of player. We have him in at number 100 now in the top 100. The concern with him is just where he's going to play on the diamond. He came up as a third baseman through the minors. Wasn't really working that great. They moved him to first base full time this year. There still is not a lot of great reviews there. Again, it's his first year really playing the position, so you want to give him some time to grow into it. But there's little doubt he can be an impact hitter. It's just going to be where does he play on the diamond, and maybe he ends up being a designated hitter. There's still some things to work out there. That's why he doesn't rank higher, but the bat alone is good enough to get him onto the top 100.
Let's talk pitching. Everybody wants to talk pitching in Major League Baseball and minor league baseball. How do you see the Orioles 2 or 3 years from down the road with some of the talent they have in the minor league systems with the pitching?
Well, we mentioned Grayson Rodriguez and DL Hall. DL Hall, the left-hander who was just in the Futures game, showing a fastball up to 96 with one of the best changeups any prospect threw in the game. Grayson Rodriguez, who I saw earlier this year pitch as well, is a big guy, power fastball, kind of fits that big Texan type of stereotype of pitcher, if you will. They're very, very talented. I mean, these are 2 of the most talented homegrown arms the Orioles have had in their system in some time. But again, they're both in the Class A levels. Hall's in high Class A, Rodriguez in low Class A, and pitchers, it's very risky. Obviously, health is a big concern there. There's a long way to go. Pitchers tend to take longer than hitters, so the expectation is both these guys will be up, 3 years from now, and they can absolutely be kind of cornerstones of the Orioles rotation. But again, there's a long way to go. Injuries are always a concern with every pitcher, so it's going to take some time. But for the first time in a couple years, really since Kevin Gossman and Dylan Bundy were minor leaguers, the Orioles actually have some pitching prospects to really hang their hat on as far as potential future starters.
Now, Kyle, last year the Orioles traded Manny Machado at this point to the Los Angeles Dodgers. They did get Dean Kramer back as part of the deal on Yusniel Diaz. Evaluate what you know about those 2 players right now.
Sure. So Yusniel Diaz, when he was acquired, his stock was a little bit higher than it is now. It's been a little bit of a difficult transition into the Orioles system in terms of performance. He's repeating Double-A. But there's been some signs of life recently. He's still a younger guy, Cuban outfielder. And the potential has been there for him to be kind of an everyday right fielder type, hit for some power, hit for some average. Again, the adjustment moving into a new system has been a little rocky, but there's signs he's coming out of it. That's why he's still in the top 100, even though he's fallen a little bit. And Dean Kramer is just a really good pitcher. He really kind of changed the type of pitcher he was last year in the Dodgers system. Had one of the best years of any minor league pitcher and was part of that trade, obviously. Grayson Rodriguez and DL Hall are the guys you kind of say, hey, these can be the guys we put at the front of our rotation. Maybe you're number 2, number 3, maybe even higher. While Kramer's that guy that you can stick at the number 4 or 5 spot and rely to go out there and give you a good outing every fifth day, which you need to win in Major League Baseball. It's not just about the front end guys; you need good back end guys too, and Dean Kramer might be able to fill that role.
Kyle, how about the Orioles entering full-time the international market now under the new management? Your thoughts on that?
I mean, you can't overstate how big that is for them. Anytime you're essentially taking yourself out of a talent pipeline, you're going to fall behind, and that's what the Orioles, in effect, did for the better part of this decade. Now they're back in there. It's going to take some time to build up. International kids, they're signing at 16, 17. They take 6-7 years to really get to the major leagues. But just the fact the Orioles are players in the game again, it's only going to increase the amount of talent they can bring into their system. Again, the payoff's going to come many years down the road. This won't be an immediate payoff type of situation. But you look around the game at how many young international talented players there are, just even in their own division. You look at Miguel Andujar, Gary Sanchez with the Yankees. You look at Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with the Blue Jays. The Orioles haven't had a guy like that in some time. Now they're players on the market. They should be able to pull some of those guys and, compete against what the Yankees and Blue Jays and all the other teams in their division have been able to bring up.
Well, Kyle Glaser, we'll check everything out on Baseball America. We appreciate you taking some time with us to be on O's Extra pregame here on Massett.